Hey everybody, this is Josh Wagner with TAV. Today we're going to be going over this 2021 RZR Turbo S Dynamics Edition. We did an adventure like expedition type build on this unit, and we want to go over all of our build sponsors and then the choices we made for each part of the build. So the build sponsors for this car are KC Highlights for all of the lighting choices that we had. We also went with Assault Industries for a lot of the outfitting and comfort storage. And then Multicam has sponsored the wrap or Imagecraft. Also, we went with Frontrunner for a lot of the outfitting parts, roof rack, storage, and DMOS shovels. They also threw a shovel at this build so that we could use it for recovery or just camp needs. For suspension, Zbros is supporting this build with the front and rear suspension along with spring replacement. And then there's TOYO tires. We're running their side-by-side tire in a 32. And KMC wheels for the wheel choice on this one. Is from S-Pod. They supplied the switching option for our electronics, mostly lights. Another one of our sponsors is from S-Pod. They supplied the switching option for our electronics, mostly lights. So Zbros supplied us with the suspension components for this car, and it's their high clearance 72-inch width replacement A-arms. For the front, the high clearance comes in the bend of the lower A-arm, and then also their stage 1 spring replacement. This car had the Dynamics live valve suspension, so we didn't want to get rid of the shocks, but we did want to respring it for the added weight of the build. So for the front end, we have a TMW winch bumper. We chose TMW because they have a very strong design. You can also add lights on the top of the bumper. It's got a really good platform. The winch is tucked up nice and clean behind it. The winch that we decided on was from Come Up. They have a wireless controller option for their winches, and we also use them on all of our truck builds. And then we are using the Factor 55 Ultra Hook, the XTV, which is a little bit smaller for the UTV platforms and four-wheelers, ATVs. So with this combo, we have a pretty strong setup. It sticks out just a little bit from the front tires, so it gives you good protection around your grill area. And on top of that bumper, we have the KC Highlights Flex Era 4 lights with the amber covers. The amber covers really help out in the high dusty situations like we see a lot of out here in the desert, and then also in like snow or just all around use situations. So as you guys know, you may know that we did a build for Multicam on their Toyota Tacoma about a year or two ago, and KC supported that build, and we were really blown away by the quality, which I guess shouldn't surprise us because KC's been doing this for so long. But the new light options and offerings through KC's catalog have been impressive, and we wanted to start going with them for some of our future builds. So we decided on them to do this RZR setup, and we're going to go through a few of the reasons why we chose what we chose. On the front bumper, we have the Flex Era 4s, and it's a really good offering for if you want a bumper setup or a ditch light setup, and you're just wanting that one pod light with a lot of power. It also looks really good at just regular running. It's backlit, and you can get the optional covers like the ambers that are on this car. Then moving up to the light bar, we're using the Pro 6 light bar, which you can get in different configurations depending on how wide your roof is. On this car, we wanted to go with the 6 pods across because it does have a narrower roof. We used them on a Can-Am build before, and it had 7 or 8 across because of much narrower or much wider roof. And so it worked out really good that you can change that width option, and you still get a killer amount of light coming out of the 6 compared to the 8 or 7 or however many you want to daisy chain across the roof. And then on the side of the car, we decided to do what we want to do, some area lighting that's underneath an awning, also acting as like a, I guess your surrounding area lighting that could be used similar to like rock lighting at night. And you have the C-Series C2, if I'm not mistaken, 2 pods on each side of the car for that white light surrounding area. Inside of the car, we have interior lighting in both red and white. We wanted to have some light to where if we're driving and a passenger or anybody needs light as we're driving at night, we can clip those red ones on and it won't bother the driver's eyes. And then just for regular lighting in general, we put some white pods up there as well. And then moving to the back, we did some amber rear-facing cyclones, and we'll use those either just on for area lighting as well, or we'll strobe them so that people can see us in high dust or just low visibility situations where if they're following us, they can keep an eye on us. And then there's one more light that we decided to do in the cargo area. One more cyclone we just put up underneath the Assault Industries cargo tray. So Assault Industries heavily supported this build. We went with their gray grille with the black frame, and then opted in for the red logo replacement because we wanted to sprinkle in a little bit of red throughout the whole build, just because we think it pops against the black, white, gray look. So we did that grille, and it had the cutout for the 10-inch light bar that we ended up mounting the bumper inside of that cutout. So if anybody's wanting to do a bumper inside of a grill, that's the way to do it. So moving back, we also have their Bomber B2C rear view mirrors or side view mirrors, and it's with their billet clamps here. And the B2C is for the convex shape of the mirror. In my opinion, that's the way to go with any mirror on these side-by-sides, because you just kind of need a little bit more view. The flat mirrors, I wasn't seeing the best view out of the side views. And then we opted for the red frame logo piece that you can bolt onto it to make it a little bit more custom to your look. For the regular rear view, we went with their convex rear view mirror and did the red frame and logo replacement on it, which I really love. Even though I don't have a ton of view on the back of the car, I can still see the lights behind me if we're riding along and I just want to kind of keep track of the people I'm riding with. And then we did their steering wheel replacement, also with the red logo, and it has their hub adapter and quick release in case you wanted to take the steering wheel off, say you park somewhere or something, just for added security, you can pop that steering wheel off and go into a restaurant or whatever you feel. And then we have their harnesses for the driver and passenger. One thing that's really cool about these harnesses is that you can take the padding off and wash it. You can also take the Velcro patches that say Assault off of there, wash them or change the color of them. We have these black ones on here right now, but we also have some red ones just to go along with that red theme. Switch it up every once in a while. And then moving to the rear of the car, Assault Industries has their fire extinguisher mounts. We decided to put one on each side of the car, and it's pretty easy to use. You just pull this pin, and then you can just rock this back, and you've got your fire extinguisher out and ready to roll. That's one thing that I suggest is the first thing anyone puts on their vehicle for a modification or something, you know, that they're just wanting to add to their vehicle right off the bat, is add in some more safety with that fire extinguisher. And we decided on 2. Assault Industries makes a really good cargo carrier that hinges up, and it's able to carry the weight of a spare tire. So we have the spare tire on that, and then it just straps down nicely. I don't get any rattling or anything. And then I'm also running the Assault Industries soft cooler for drinks or lunch or whatnot, maybe some camp supply food, but it fits in there perfectly underneath their rack. I was having a hard time getting any kind of hard cooler up underneath here, like a Yeti or Arctic or something. They were just a little too tall, so this works perfect for in here. Our tire selection is the TOYO. It's their side-by-side specific open country tire. It models right after their mud terrain or their MT truck tire that we use on almost all of our builds on the trucks, and we've come to really believe in this tire to be one of the best in the industry. So it was kind of a no-brainer when they offered to support this build to go with their tire. We are running the KMC Grenade beadlock wheel in a black with the red ring in the middle. It's a really good looking wheel, and it keeps your stock offset correct, and then you can keep that scrub radius right on the front of the car. For the rear suspension, we're using the Zbros trailing arm replacement. It's a very stout, high clearance arm, and it's attached also with the Zbros sway bar link, and then we're running their spring replacement, their stage 1 spring replacement on that dynamic shock, just like on the front. For the radius rods, we have the Zbros high clearance gusseted rods, as well as the radius rod plate attaching it to the chassis. So we wanted to make sure that we worked in added safety with this build, and we decided on the TMW Sand Slayer cage for the 4-seat model, and we've got it powder coated to match some of the gray on the hood and on the rear of the car. We decided on this one. It's a low sleek cage with a roof option and a windshield option, and it already came tabbed for some things. It came tabbed for a roof rack, even though we decided to do some different things with it, and tabbed for a light bar. I did have to change a few things, weld in the tabs in a little bit different spot, weld in some tabs for these side lights, and then just kind of make it to where it fits all of the options with the rear-facing lights, the interior cyclones, but so far we're really loving how this cage fit and finish is, and the added safety doesn't hurt with the mental part of staying safe out there and feeling safe. So for the roof rack, we went with a Front Runner slimline tray. We work very closely with Front Runner on our truck builds, and they have an offering for just about everything out there. We just wanted to kind of dig into their catalog and see what they had so that we can apply it to this unique build, and we were able to come up with something without it being too terribly difficult. So we now have a part number for this 4-seat RZR that we can apply to anyone else's build, as far as with the tray size and the foot size and how you're going to make it all level. We're running their Front Runner 1.4 meter awning as well, and out here in the desert, if you guys are out in any spot that is super hot, it's great to have some shade you can bring with you. So this is perfect. It's lightweight, very easy to deploy, especially if you have 2 people, but you can do it by yourself. So yeah, that's what we're doing for the roof rack storage. So a really cool benefit of using a tray type roof rack system like this is it's very modular. we've decided to mount our shovel option up here on the roof, as well as our fuel storage. We have just about a whole tank extra capacity of fuel here that we can keep up and in front of the engine area. There's a lot of people that catch fire out on the trail, and they just watch their investment go into flames, just melt to the ground. And we wanted to make sure that there's no option for fuel vapors or anything to be out over the hot turbo or exhaust or any of that. So we're going to keep it out here on the front. We have a little bit of extra room in the back in case we wanted to mount, say, strap a tent down or firewood, maybe even a storage box for just keeping dry supplies or clothes, whatever you want to do. But we can move this stuff around according to the trip that we're on. So along with the DMOS shovel that we're using that's strapped to the roof, we also have a set of MaxTrax Minis. This is the exact same design as the full-size MaxTrax that you see on the trucks, but it just works a little bit better on these smaller platforms. We've used these in recovery situations, and most of the time this is all you're going to need, as opposed to trying to find something to winch to. So for storage in the back of the car, we have, so I showed you guys the cooler, but we also have one of the Front Runner Wolfpack Pros. Right now what I'm using it for is to store tools. I have an Assault Industries tool roll here. It has basically every tool I would need to get through most of your breakdown situations. I just have like one of the MaxTrax rolls up of straps just to recover my MaxTrax, spare belt, a Pro Eagle Phoenix air jack, just a ratchet strap in case I need to tie anything down, and then a little machete, fold out machete. So this stuff right here is kind of a just-in-case box, and it's waterproof. Front Runner does a really good job with these Wolfpack Pros. Fits perfectly in the RZR platform trunk area, and you can close it all up and feel secure that this stuff isn't going to get wet or rusted. So it lifts right out of here easily. And then also we have, for recovery, this is the mini Deadman, which is basically it's a land anchor that you can bury and attach to if you need to winch out of a bad situation. So for comms, we decided on the rugged radios, the GMR 45 system, which is a GMRS unit that you can use either your hand mic or you can plug into with you've got headsets, and we have it set up to where the passenger has a push to talk. This would be car to car with the radio, and also the driver's push button is on the steering wheel. So you can use your headsets to communicate, the hand mic, and then we also have helmets that have the comms on the inside of them. And with those helmets, we have this air pumper system that Rugged Radios also produces. It's filtered air that pumps into the helmet, and the helmet has a neck cape, so you can keep all of that dirty, dusty air out of your nose as you're riding. And then down on the center console is where you control the fan speed and whether or not you want it to be on full speed all the time, or if you want it to be variable, and then you would turn it up and down here. And then we just hook comms straight down into the console. I just have some flush mount plugs hooked in there right now. But that's where your comms for your helmet or your headset would plug into. And then the unit just above the radio is the intercom system. So you can set that sensitivity on the dial, and then person to person within the car, you can have a normal conversation without having to scream at each other because the noise of the wind or the engine is too high. So we're using the I think second generation of the S&B particle separator for this car. It's got fans on the inside of this unit right here that pull intake air for the engine through here. It has some sort of a Venturi effect. I don't claim to know exactly. That will shoot the particle out the bottom of this box, and then it'll bring clean air to the engine through that tube to the side, and then it just brings it down through the normal intake and then through your filter. So before air ever even hits your filter, it's roughly 98% filtered already, is separated. So you're getting good clean air all the time. And then we're also running their filter, which is washable. You can basically blow it out and know that you've got clean air. You're not hurting your engine out off the grid and killing your unit that you spent so much money on. So as I mentioned before, we have a good relationship with Multicam Cry Precision, and we've used their wrap pattern on a lot of our builds now, on our customer builds as well as our own shop builds usually have Multicam on them. So we decided to use the Alpine white pattern, or color rather, for this build. We think it really works well with the grays, reds, and blacks. Along with the vehicle builds, we do sell all of these products as well. So if you're just looking for one thing, we can help you out with that as well. Again, thank you so much for watching, and look us up if you need anything for your UTV. So yeah, you guys can look us up on Instagram. It's TAV_UTV_moto, or look us up on our website. It's TAVLLC.com.